Moving in our brand new stadium, Lucas Moura's winner against Ajax, or Heung-min Son's superb goal against Burnley. The fans' favourite memories of 2019. Welcome back to another video. Now, as 2019 is nearly over, I asked more Tottenham fans to name their favourite memory of 2019. Let me know yours in the comment section below. A lot of people have said that their favourite memory has been moving into our brand new stadium. Of course, we played that first competitive game against Crystal Palace back in April 2019. Of course, then we got into the Champions League final, that dramatic win, that 3-2 win, Lucas Moura hat-trick against Ajax. That was back in May 2019. And then, of course, on the 1st of June, we got in a Champions League final. Mauricio Pochettino has now left the club. Jose Mourinho has come in. There are lots of memories of 2019 that we will remember for the rest of our life. Now, put your favourite memory in the comment section below. This is part 2. I did ask another set of Tottenham fans to do this as well. That's in part 1. That was out a couple of days ago, so please do check that out. Hope you enjoy them. Come on, you Spurs.
My 2019 best memory was the Ajax game. Has to be. I've never felt anything like that in my life. I couldn't even feel my body, my arms, my legs. I had no control. That was the best memory, the best feeling I ever had as a Spurs fan. The Ajax match. Come on, you Spurs.
My best memory of Tottenham in 2019 was Lucas Moura's winning goal against Ajax in the Champions League semi-final with seconds to go. Possibly one of my greatest Spurs memories ever, actually. Come on, you Spurs.
My favourite Spurs memory of 2019 would be the win over Manchester City in the Champions League. I think it was a really special moment. It was kind of our first big win at the new stadium, and of course set us on the way to reaching the Champions League final. It's just a really special night. Of course, Man City are a really strong team last season, and to stop them from reaching the semi-finals of the Champions League, I think was a massive achievement. Of course, there was Heung-min Son's goal, which was, you know, a really amazing moment to celebrate, and of course there was Hugo Lloris's penalty save. So there was lots of moments in that game that were just fantastic and great to celebrate. And to beat Manchester City anywhere is obviously a very special occasion. So for me, probably my favourite moment personally of 2019 for Spurs would be the 1-0 win over Manchester City.
Favourite moment of 2019 for me absolutely has to be the second leg semi-final away leg against Ajax, with Lucas Moura scoring that third and fantastic goal that put us through to the final in injury time.
My favourite moment of 2019 was undoubtedly that night in Amsterdam. I was lucky enough to be in the away end. It was absolutely unreal. I was speaking about it the other day actually to someone. We were trying to work out if we got locked in after the game or we just stayed, because we were just celebrating for what seemed like hours after, when Pochettino come over and done the Icelandic wave, and even a kit man done his little roly-poly in front of us all. It was just unbelievable and something we'll never forget. Come on, you Spurs.
Without a doubt, my favourite moment for Tottenham Hotspur was the away match against Ajax. Tottenham down 2-0 at half-time, looking very bleak, and then Spurs managing to come back and win 3-2, going through on aggregate score. What a wonderful moment that was. It's fantastic. The amount of cheering in Los Angeles, jumping up and down, all kinds of things. It was just fantastic. So by far and away, that was the greatest moment. Wishing you all the best for the holiday season and the new year. Take care, and come on, you Spurs.
My favourite memory in 2019 of Tottenham Hotspur is probably everyone's favourite memory, and that's moving to our new amazing stadium.
My favourite memory of 2019 was the Ajax game when Lucas Moura scored. What a game it was. Lucas getting his hat-trick coming back from 2-0 down. And then that led on to me going to a Champions League final, which I'd never think I'd ever get to go to, and that was brilliant. And then right up there is the first game at the new stadium, when Son scored that first goal. The atmosphere of that game was just brilliant. It was quality.
My favourite memory of the season is the first home game. Quality atmosphere. Great to be back at the Lane.
My favourite memory of 2019 is being in the fan park in Madrid earlier this year, seeing 11,000 fans singing and dancing, seeing the legends on the stage, and just enjoying the build-up, the excitement of being in Madrid and what could possibly happen. And yeah, that was easily the best moment for me, probably actually in most of my Spurs fan life really. So yeah, that's it for me. Come on, you Spurs!
My favourite memory of this year has to be Son's goal against Burnley. What a goal! I mean, like it was superb, wasn't it? To pick the ball up from outside the penalty area and that mazy run where no one took the ball off and meant to plant it home. I mean, like it was just a wonder goal, And let's have more of them. Come on, you Spurs!
Favourite memory of 2019 would have to be the Ajax away game in the Champions League. That comeback was just amazing. Come on, you Spurs!
My favourite memory of 2019 is 96 minutes, Moura scoring that goal, and we went mad in the Royal Oak in Weymouth with the rest of the South Dorset Spurs.
My favourite memory of 2019 is coming home, back to the new White Hart Lane, got to be.
My favourite memory of 2019 has got to be coming back to the Lane, obviously. Come on, you Spurs.
Favourite memory of 2019, obviously Lucas Moura for Ajax. What a memory. I will never forget that for as long as I live. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, my favourite memory of 2019, I think we watch a lot of games in the Oak, so I think that semi-final against Ajax was probably the absolute highlight of the year. Lucas Moura putting that ball in the back of the net was probably the most joyful thing I've seen for quite a few years, probably since Ricky Villa actually did his bit against Man City all those years ago. But live, I think, against Burnley, seeing that goal by Son and by Harry Kane, I think that was an absolute momentous occasion. So yeah, for me, Burnley and Ajax 2019. Come on, you Spurs.
Here at HMRK, our favourite Spurs memory of 2019
is...
It's Lucas Moura! I cannot believe it! Lucas Moura with the last kick of the game! The Ajax players collapsed to the ground! Tottenham Hotspur are heading to the Champions League final!
And that's right, our stunning comeback against Ajax that got us to the Champions League final.
Absolutely. The 8th of May 2019 will forever be etched in every Spurs fan's memory. The day that we finally, in our lifetimes, got through to a Champions League final. Lucas Moura, the superhero, scoring a hat-trick in the semi-final. I can still remember, I'm sure you guys, we were in our living room and it was absolute pandemonium. We were emotional, we were in tears, joys of happiness. It was crazy, crazy, crazy night. And we just like to thank Pochettino, Lucas Moura, Tottenham Football Club for giving us that opportunity, that memory that will live with us forever. And another notable memory we all decided is
when Son he had the ball and it was against
Burnley
and he ran across the pitch
all the way to the other side,
all the way, and scored.
Stunning goal, which we think will be goal of the season contender for this year. So there you go, there you have it, our favourite memory of 2019 here at HMRK. Come on, you Spurs!
The best memory of this season is the semi-final in Ajax, of course. Lucas Moura's 3 goals, basically the best one.
Lucas Moura, 90+6, Ajax away. I didn't see it live because I saw it on a stream that was 47 seconds late. And my mum phoned me and spoilt it! Yeah, but it was still my best moment. Champions League, Ajax away. Well done, Lucas Moura.
My favourite Spurs moment of 2019, I'm afraid, is inevitably going to be the semi-final away at Ajax in the Champions League. I'd like to say it was something else and try and do something fresh, but I can't avoid it. It's one of those moments that all Spurs fans will know where they were at the time. The best moment of that, actually, for me, was Sissoko, when he went to the back, did a job for everybody else, everybody's pushed forward. And then when he got the ball back to him, he just placed a nicely weighted ball at a time when they might have panicked. But he didn't, just enough, and we all know the rest. I was at home and I was bouncing all round the walls when we scored. A moment I will never forget.
My favourite memory of 2019 was obviously the Champions League run. We went to the Etihad together. The first quarter of an hour, 20 minutes was just crazy. There were 5 goals, and it was just mental, mental game. Llorente obviously equalised with his hip, hand, or whatever. But then Sterling scored. I thought he scored the winner. And I kicked the chair in front of me. We were walking down the stairs to leave the stadium. Pep was running down the touchline. It's happened again. Spurs, last minute. Nothing ever happens that is good to Spurs. Gutted. Knew I had a long journey back to London, had work the next day. And then suddenly VAR were reviewing it. Couldn't believe it, prayed, and then it was disallowed. And then the next 2 minutes waiting for that referee to blow his whistle was just so nerve-wracking. And then the whistle went, we hugged each other, I cried, we were in the Champions League semi-final, couldn't believe it, beat a Man City, champions of England. I didn't really care how long it took back to get out of the stadium or back to London. Just a memorable night.
Yeah, and then of course, about a month later, me and you were sitting here, obviously against Ajax, a semi-final. We couldn't believe we were in that situation anyway. We were already 1-0 down from the first leg, and then half-time of the second leg, we found ourselves 3-0 down on aggregate.
We were out.
Well, me and you definitely thought there was no way coming back, and that was probably and that second half was probably the most crazy, emotional 45 minutes I've ever watched.
You know, when Lucas pulled one back, you thought, oh, still need another 2, you know, we're just not going to do it. And then he pulled another one back, so it was 2-2 on the night.
But it just seemed too good to be true.
We just needed, you know, you're still worried we were going to concede in the last minute. And then, the world seemed to stop, didn't it?
Yeah, of course, like literally the last second Lucas scored, I remember you fell to your knees in tears.
I just couldn't believe it. I still get emotional thinking about it. But as well as the evening, I mean, even my older son thought I was having a heart attack on the floor. I just couldn't get off the floor until the final whistle went. And a bit like the quarter-final against City, you know, after he scored, there were a couple of minutes before the ref blew his whistle. But when he did blow his whistle, I think that 3 weeks or so before the final was the most exciting time I've ever been a Spurs fan. We were going to the Champions League final together, something that I'd only ever dreamed of, never thought was going to be possible, but it became a reality. And that build-up, getting the tickets, going to Madrid, you know, dreaming, absolutely dreaming, but, you know, thinking it could be a reality, that we could be champions of Europe. It was just a magic 3 weeks. It was a magic night against Ajax.
I'll never forget it. It was emotional.
Brilliant.
Still get emotion thinking about it. So I think those are our two best
definitely
memories of 2019.
Hello there guys, welcome to my review of 2019. I just want to firstly start off by saying, obviously I'm quite close to Chris, who comes on our show quite often. Last one on Spurs, I can't thank you enough for all the support you've given us throughout this year. Some of you guys have probably been listening to our show for the last 3-4 years, so thank you so much. It's been quite a turbulent year. We've seen us obviously change the manager. We've finally gone into our new stadium as well in the calendar year 2019. I'm just going to really reflect on what it's been like as a Spurs fan of this current year, because it has been crazy, to be honest with you. Get into a Champions League final. Domestically, our run of form hasn't been great. But I suppose we'll discuss Pochettino to start with. You know, a man I think we're all still a little bit in shock of that he's no longer the manager of the football club. Being honest with you, I think all of us were so behind the man. None of us probably felt really that comfortable with the term sacking. But unfortunately, it just seemed to be towards the end of it, Maurizio lost that dressing room. And in terms of results for me, I look back now and think after that Sheffield United display, we just never really looked like we were going to change under him or evolve or do something different, which would see us have an upturn in results. So I was absolutely devastated with Maurizio Pochettino that he couldn't leave Spurs with at least a couple of trophies to show for the magnificent work he did at the football club. He really, really did. And you look at the way he improved players, brought players on. Yes, you'd say under him, if you're being really, really critical and harsh, that every final we got to, we just didn't get over the line, and that was probably the problem, that he wasn't a winning mentality manager. But I think to have got us into those consecutive top 4 finishes, Champions League football, year in, year out. You look at some of the away displays, we beat the likes of Real Madrid. You look at the fact, even away to Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, in our time under him, we had some wonderful, wonderful results. And I think that shouldn't take away from the magnificent job he did. And hopefully one day, I said this, that, he goes and wins multiple trophies, whether that be, hopefully not in the Premier League, maybe somewhere like Bayern Munich, and the opportunity is there for him to come back to the club. But I think now with the head coach we've got, Jose Mourinho, for me personally, I think we're set up now to really go to that next level of achieving glory, winning trophy after trophy. And it's not going to be done straight away, don't get me wrong. I think when you look at our squad at the moment, there's still a huge amount of depth required in certain areas to take us to the level of being able to compete for the Premier League and the Champions League, and we'll come on to that shortly. But the year as a whole, I think it's been a learning curve for the club. Going into that new stadium, definitely the transfer window has been a learning curve as well in terms of how they operate. And maybe Daniel Woods maybe had to have a bit of a rethink. I don't think his plans was ever to have a change in manager. He said it was a decision that he never wanted to make in terms of letting Maurizio go. But the squad needs to refresh. The squad needs to be refreshed on a regular basis. We saw that under Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United, that in order to achieve continued success, and that's in terms of trophies, and always looking forward, you have to replenish the squad. And Tottenham haven't really done that. And especially 2019, I think for me, is a year in which together we come collectively to get to a Champions League final that really we had absolutely no right to get to. When you think about the fact the club didn't spend a penny for 500 days, to reach a Champions League final was a great achievement when you take all that into account and the injuries we had. And it was just a euphoric run. I think, getting to that final was probably the proudest moment, definitely, of the year for me. I had people coming up to me, even after the same year I got married, people come and say, "Oh, congratulations." And you think, "Oh, hold on, I didn't do it." But as a fan, you feel so proud to see your team get to a Champions League final. And I think the biggest problem for us is that as Spurs fans, we're a bit out of our comfort zone. We wasn't used to Tottenham getting to a Champions League final. And I think maybe when you look back now, I think the whole occasion just overwhelmed us slightly. And it may have overwhelmed the players. And that certainly was, for me, my memory, that getting to that final, that Ajax game, is definitely my highlight of 2019. The lowest point for me would probably be the sacking of Maurizio Pochettino. If I'm being honest, I said I will remain consistent. For me, in my heart, why I felt it was the right time to make the change. It was deeply upsetting seeing that man depart the football club, someone that we're all close to. And now with Mourinho, it's such a different character we've got now in charge of the club. And to be fair, I think he's come across very, very well since coming into the club. I've got nothing really to say negative about him. He's still learning about the squad, learning about the players in general. One of the things he has tried to do is keep a settled side to some degree, and that has led to, you know, success in terms of results, majority on the pitch. I suppose the biggest concern at the moment is, you would argue, Mourinho's two toughest tests so far, the Chelsea and Man United game, we have both failed. But you maybe argue that the squad isn't good enough yet to be able to really challenge those teams. But then you look at Chelsea and Man United's form, it's hardly brilliant themselves, and Spurs really need to be beating these sides if they are to get that top four. You know, a top four finish normally means you have to beat a couple of good sides along the way. And I think it just tells you at the moment, the Premier League, just how poor it is. You know, to still be in a shout of the top four, a couple of points off it. You'd like to think second half of the season, Spurs normally come strong around the Christmas period and into January. They've got every chance now, I think, of getting top four. And I think if you offered me that, when you bear in mind our start to the season, I think top four would be a great achievement. And there's the FA Cup there. And that's one thing I would want to say to Mourinho, that he is the kind of coach that takes the domestic cups very, very seriously. And his aim will be, whilst maybe the main aim of the club is to get top four, Mourinho would want to put a trophy in the bank. And what a perfect way to start would be with the FA Cup. So that is my review of 2019.